What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I have two sets from the Ultra Premier Cup. I'll be honest and say that I suck in the Ultra League. I've tried the Ultra League and Ultra Premier Cup. I'm trying to not use like the hardest meta, but it's not like I'm using off-meta Pokemon either, but I am just doing really inconsistently. This is the first team that I've used that I can go consistently 4-1 or 3-2. Otherwise I have a lot of negative sets going 2-3 and 1-4 and even some 0-5s. It's just been really bad for me, but thankfully I've found a team that works sort of okay. I really wanted to try a double grass team, but I had a lot of bad experiences with Escavalier in particular, so that's why I've changed my Shiftry to run Hurricane. And it actually works really well for this video, so yeah, and I best buddied a Dwebble quite a while ago, and this is the first time I've used it in the Ultra League, so I was quite excited to use it. And with that being said, let's go into the battles now. Alright, so into the first battle, we're up against someone who recently took part in the Galarian Mr. Mime event. We're up against a Dragonite, so this is a really favourable lead. And we can just commit to farming it down with Smackdown. We don't have to shield this, it's just a Dragon Claw. And we're going to commit to the farm down. We're going to go straight for Rock Slide. It ends up being a Swampert, so that was a bit of a mistake. We should have waited to see what came in. We're going to switch instantly into Shiftry. They bring in Alolan Muck, so this is a lot of trouble for my back line. But we go for the Hurricane, it does about 50% damage. We're going to let this go through. It's actually an acid spray, so that's quite good for us. And now we're just going to pressure the health and shields with Leaf Blades. They do shield. We're going to let it go through again. And this time it's Dark Pulse and we survive. So we go for another Leaf Blade. And we get the second shield. And now we have two shields here. We can hit an X-Scissor. This KOs, and then we bring in Venusaur into Swampert, and my opponent leaves, and I don't blame them. That was a very favourable game right from the lead. Empoleon, so this is not a good lead, so we switch instantly into Shiftry. They bring in Escavalier, which is a huge problem for both Shiftry and Venusaur, but we're running Hurricane, so that does quite a lot of damage, and we force them to throw a charge move, otherwise we'll get to a Leaf Blade. Doesn't KO, but one counter does. And now we'll come in with Crustle and farm down with Smackdown. The switch clock isn't up yet, so we're going to go for X-Scissor as soon as we reach it, and then switch into Venusaur. So the switch is now there. This is probably a Hydro Cannon, but we shield it anyway, and it was just a Hydro Cannon. So they have a Togekiss. We're going to go for the Sludge Bomb. We get the shield, we CMP tie there, and we shield this, and then we go for the Sludge Bomb. And this doesn't quite KO, which is really good for us. Now we can farm it down. We can go for the Frenzy Plant. We're over farming just a little bit. We're wary that they will reach a charge move before we get to the second Frenzy Plant, but we're able to catch it with Crustle. And now we can get to the Frenzy Plant and KO the Empoleon. And we're able to win that game there. Into the next game, another proud owner of the new Galarian Mr. Mime, Pose. For some reason they switch into Grand Ball, so we switch out into Venusaur, and this is pretty favourable. We resist Charm, and Frenzy Plant's going to do a huge chunk, and it actually KOs from that range. We're going to let this go through. It's probably just a Body Slam, which it is, and then we're going to go for Frenzy Plant. I'm going to try and get to the next Frenzy Plant, but my opponent times their charge move perfectly, just one turn before we reached it, and we're actually going to come in with Shiftry here. We get to the Leaf Blade before they can throw a charge move. And they have a Togekiss, so we're going to switch into Crustle And what we should do here is completely commit to farming it down with Smackdown, but instead we think we can hit a back-to-back X-Scissor and we don't get the second one, but we're able to snarl it down. So yeah, that was really close. We should have just committed to Smackdown because we would have simultaneously KO'd. This is a bad lead, so we switch into Shiftry. We get off the Leaf Blade before they throw a charge move. And we actually CMP tied here, so this must be an Ice Punch. So we're not going to shield it. They come in with Venusaur, but that's fine because we're running Hurricane. And we actually get an excellent this time, so that's amazing for us. We're going to shield this, and now we can just snarl it down. The Poliwrath comes back in, so we're going to go for the Leaf Blade. We get a shield, and we're going to let the Shiftry go down here because we have Venusaur. This is just an Ice Punch, and they're actually running double water types, so Venusaur is going to be fine here. We get to the second Frenzy Plant, this will KO. And now we're not quite sure how much energy the Poliwrath had, so we didn't want to risk trying to go for the Frenzy Plant and losing CMP. So we actually just switch in our Crustle to catch the Ice Punch, and then they throw a Dynamic Punch there. Crustle's quite tanky, so we can take that. And we go for a not very effective Rock Slide. All of our moves are resisted. We're going to let this go through, and then one Vine Whip, and we're able to take out the Poliwrath there. And into the final battle for the first set, we lead into Venusaur. So we want to try and catch a Frenzy Plant with our own Venusaur, but they don't throw straight away, so this is kind of bad. And it's a Sludge Bomb. We're over farming because we are not sure what they're going to do. They throw another Sludge Bomb, and now we're going to go for our own Sludge Bombs. But I'm under the impression that whatever they have in the back is weak to Venusaur, but it's a bit too late now. And they actually shield there, and they farm us down. We're going to come in with Shiftry, expecting the Frenzy Plant. But because there was a bit of a pause there for lag, we weren't sure what they threw. We come in with Crustle, throw the X-Scissor, and that was the mistake there. We should have just came back in with Crustle instead of coming in with Shiftry and then switching out. Because now we're switch locked, and Polion farms us down, and they're going to reach 2 drill packs. So that's the first one there. They reach the second. We could have thrown our charge move, but we're over farming because we don't know what's in the back. And they let it go through, and it ends up being a Dragonite, so we've got no chance here. We throw the Leaf Blade, obviously that's not going to do much. They shield just in case, and they are able to take that game there. So GG's to all of my opponents in that set. We went 4-1, and straight into the next set. Crustle into Gallade, so this isn't great, but at least X-Scissor is neutral. We're gonna shield this, throw the X-Scissor, and then switch into Shiftry. They throw the close combat, so it was a good shield, and we had already clicked on the Leaf Blade, so they're stuck there, and they have to shield before they switch out. They bring in Tangrowth. They reach the Rock Slide just before we get to the Hurricane. We don't hit an excellent there. We charge up to a Leaf Blade, and then we switch out into Venusaur. They throw a Rock Slide, which we tank quite comfortably, and then we Vine Whip farm them down. We throw the Frenzy Plant, and they shield, and they're trying to commit to farming us down, but we get to another frenzy plant, so this is really good for us. And now they have Ampharos in the back, so we're actually going to be able to get to another frenzy plant, and this does a huge chunk of damage. And we switch into Crustle to get them to throw their energy, which they do, and now they throw another charge move. And remember, we have a Leaf Blade stored up on Shiftry, so we're able to take them out here and win that game. Into the next game, we lead into Exeggutor, so this is a really good lead for us, but Confusion does quite a lot of damage. They switch out, and we're going to switch into Venusaur because Shiftry has a really good matchup against Exeggutor as well. We don't mind what they throw. Earthquake does a huge chunk, but that's fine. We throw a couple Vine Whips before throwing the Frenzy Plant, and they actually shield. So we're going to shield this and then commit to farming them down with Vine Whip. And we got them down just before they reach another Hydro Cannon. We go for the Sludge Bomb straight away because they bring in Exeggutor and they shield. And now we come in with Shiftry because Shiftry can tank whatever Exeggutor throws. They switch into Aggron, which you don't usually see. We're going to go for back-to-back Leaf Blades, and they don't get a smackdown through in between, so that's amazing for us. And now we're going to shield their charge move and commit to farming them down. And then we insta-swap into Crustle. We go for the X-Scissor, but we lose CMP. But they throw a Seed Bomb. And the X-Scissor was probably enough to KO, but they quit. We lead Crustle into Snorlax. So they're probably going to throw back-to-back superpowers. We go for a Rock Slide here. We get a Smackdown through. They throw just a Body Slam and resist that, so that's great. I switch into Shiftry because I'm worried that they might have something that counters Grass in the back, like a Dragonite for example. We throw a Hurricane and it goes through, and actually because it's a Shadow Dragonite we can commit to just farming them down with Snarl, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to wait to see what comes in. It's the Snorlax, so we throw a Leaf Blade. And now they have an Alolan Muck. So we're going to go for Hurricane again. Obviously we've shown it by throwing it on the Dragonite, but they don't shield for some reason. And they still have 2 shields, so now they're going to have to shield a Leaf Blade. But we're still not in a great position because Alolan Muck can beat both our Pokemon in the back. Dark Pulse won't KO, so we switch into Venusaur here and we're able to catch the Dark Pulse there. And now we can get to Frenzy Plant before they reach a Sludge Wave. So this will get the last shield. And Sludge Wave should KO at this range, which it does, but we now have an X-Scissor already and this will KO the Alolan Muck. And we're able to take that game. Into the next game, we lead into Dragonite, so an amazing lead again. They switch into Empoleon and I need to be faster with my switches, and ideally I want to switch into Shiftry, I think. With this matchup, because I was slow on the switch, I like to throw the charge move just before they reach their next charge move, forcing them to shield. And I get a Vine Whip through here, so now I'm in a good position because I will beat them to 2 moves here. So we throw 1 Frenzy Plant and we go for the next one, but they switch into the Dragonite and they catch the Frenzy Plant, so that was an amazing switch on their part. We go back in with Crustle. We have to tank this, but we can tank it comfortably. We're going to throw the Rock Slide, but the Empoleon's going to farm us down with Waterfall. And now we have to decide whether we think Venusaur or Shiftry can sweep the back. And we bring in the Venusaur, let it go down, hoping that Shiftry can do something against whatever's in the back. But it's a Togekiss, so we can't do anything here. We are going to go for the Hurricane. I don't even know why I bothered throwing this, I just wasted a little bit of time. And we go down to one more charm and we lose that game. So GG's to my opponent there. That sack swap, or catching the Frenzy Plant with Dragonite, is what won them the game. And into the final battle we lead into a Grand Ball. So we're going to stay in, a little bit of lag. We go for the Rock Slide. And they don't shield, probably expecting X-Scissor. And then we're going to switch instantly into Shiftry. And it was a good switch because they bring in Swampert, and now they bring in Escavalier. We have Hurricane though, so this is going to do quite a lot of damage. And they don't shield, so that's perfect. And we get the Leaf Blade off. So we actually get a shield from them. We'll bring in Crustle. The Smackdown goes through, but we're actually just going to let it go down. And then we'll bring in Venusaur. We'll let this go through because we're expecting another Drill Run. And Earthquake is probably what's going to do the most damage, and my opponent quits there. So we take that win, and that's another 4-1 set. So if you enjoyed this video, then leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. And if you're new, then please subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I don't know how many more Ultra League videos I'm going to be making because I'm just not very consistent. But I do still have a few Great League battles that I want to upload. So let me know if you want to see those soon, or if I should wait until all 3 leagues are back before I post them. And with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.